A missing 16-year-old boy from Gilbert has been found safe after a desperate search through Idaho and Canada last week. Good evening. Thank you for joining us for 12 News at 6. I'm Rachel McNeil.
I'm Jonathan McCall. Mark and Caribe are on assignment tonight. 12 News brought you breaking news Friday night when that boy's mother and uncle were both arrested near the Alaska-Canadian border. Spring Thibaudeau and Brooke Hale are now both accused of custodial interference. Court records show they believed that they were chosen by God in a doomsday prophecy and tried to hide from loved ones.
12 News I-Team journalist Joe Dana is here now with other high-profile cases in Arizona tied to the religious belief. Joe?
Luckily, that teen involved is safe. You know, in a goodbye letter to the family last week, the uncle, Brooke Hale, wrote about the theology of his faith, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, commonly referred to as the Mormon Church. Hale also said he was specifically chosen by God for a special purpose. Authorities have heard that before. A Gilbert family split apart. A group of them skips town, taking a 16-year-old boy with them without telling the boy's father.
He is in no way a supporter of anything she's ever believed.
On Friday, before his son was found, Ben Thibaudeau said his family members, including his wife, were delusional.
Getting into these dark topics has really corrupted them in a really horrible way.
A line that stands out in court records, especially chilling, referring to another East Valley family. Quote, "Mother started forming beliefs in end-of-the-world scenarios, eerily similar to the well-publicized Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell saga, which culminated in murdered children."
These are people that wouldn't have never been able to seek those extremist ideas in the past. So I think that they're just much more widely available.
Journalist Leah Sotilli writes about fringe religious ideologies in the Western U.S. and is author of a book about the Vallow-Daybell case, When the Moon Turns to Blood. Sotilli says there is a movement among some members of the LDS mainstream church to follow doomsday teachings not officially endorsed by the church in Salt Lake City.
So like Idaho, Utah, Arizona, there seems to be kind of this pipeline of conferences and authors and this culture that is very fringe, but kind of masquerades as mainstream.
That movement, she says, has grown in recent years because of the pandemic and political tensions. The teachings emphasize an impending apocalypse, the need to prepare with supplies, and the ability of lay church members to receive visions from God and angels. According to court records, in a letter to his family before disappearing last week, Brooke Hale wrote, "I have been called to assist in preparing the way for his return. The things I have learned will not be taught at the pulpit in church."
And it certainly sounds like from everything that has been happening is that they were reading and talking about the exact same things that the Bundys, that Vallow-Daybell, that Tim Ballard were talking about. Things like the Davidic servant, visions of an apocalyptic, situation in America.
There was the armed standoff between the Bundy rancher family and the feds in 2016, lasting 40 days.
This can't happen anymore. This can't happen in America, and it can't happen in Harney County.
Arizona militia member Lavoy Finicum was killed by police and declared a martyr by followers.
Their, standoffs with the federal government were motivated by their interpretation of LDS scriptures.
More recently, author and activist Tim Ballard has been in the spotlight. Ballard portrays himself as an anti-sex trafficking crusader and launched a film about himself this past summer, Sound of Freedom. According to former associates of Ballard, he told them he received visions from a Book of Mormon prophet and has declared himself not just an activist, but a prophet figure for the end times. Ballard is now accused by 7 women who worked with him of sexual assault and misconduct. Former supporters also accuse him of misusing donations.
Where he, found footing for himself was on the very same set of prepper conferences in St. George, Utah, in Arizona, in Boise, Idaho, where people were getting together to talk about these ideas.
Ideas that portray the world in a stark contrast of good versus evil and motivate some to go to extremes. The LDS Church officially disavowed any association with Tim Ballard in September. Ballard denies any accusations of wrongdoing. The LDS Church discourages its members from affiliating with extremist organizations. The church did not respond for comment to this story. Joe Dana, 12 News.